Good afternoon and welcome into the WBAY newsroom for our First Alert Fastcast as we interrupt local news. Let's try that again. Good afternoon and welcome to the WBAY newsroom as we welcome you into our First Alert Fastcast here as we interrupt local news live to tell you what we are working on this afternoon locally for you today. So a couple stories cooking this afternoon for you. We're going to start by telling you about this one. Let's get this here. So the St. John's Women's Shelter in Green Bay is going to open. In fact, it's going to be tonight, albeit this is a little over a month behind schedule. They had hoped to open on November 1st, but you may recall that staffing issues kept that women's only shelter, which was just built last year in 2022, from opening on November 1st. Women in need were using the St. John's main shelter until tonight, but the overnight facilities will open tonight. Emily Byer is going to join us at 4:30 to talk more about this and how they were able to get the staffing. So that story coming up tonight on Action 2 News, and we'll talk in depth on Action 2 News at 4:30. NWTC is expanding its virtual reality training for nursing students. The school has opened an entire lab now for what it calls extended reality training. Now, Brittany Schmidt covered the story when the school first introduced this training technology, and today she was touring the new lab, so she'll have that story coming up this afternoon on Action 2 News, and will also join us at 4:30 as well. Meanwhile, the Packers win over the Chiefs last night. Let's get this. We have a new touch screen here, and I'm touching all the wrong spots on the touch screen. You'd think by now we'd be used to touch screens, but we'll get there. Packers win over the Chiefs last night, puts them in the final wildcard spot in the NFC with 5 games to go, so everybody's pretty excited about that. But we can also tell you that last night, as you'll see in this picture here, the mayor of Kansas City joining Green Bay Mayor Eric Genrich at the game, and today they joined forces to discuss hosting the NFL draft. Of course, KC hosted the draft last year, and Green Bay will be hosting, as you know, in 2025. You can find more on this story, as you can see right there on our website at WBAY.com, and we'll have more coming up tonight on Action 2 News at 4, 5, and 6 o'clock. So those are some of the stories going on right now. There's some news in the sports world as well. The Brewers making news today. They have signed the number 2 prospect in all of baseball. We've been talking about this deal for days now, but it is official. Jackson Chourio, the 19-year-old, gets the longest and richest deal ever for a prospect who has not played in the major leagues yet. 8 years, $82 million, according to reports. 2 years of option years, could extend that money even further. Jackson Chourio, the number 2 prospect in all of baseball, now signed long-term for the Brewers. Again, the richest deal ever given and only the 6th ever to a prospect who has yet to play in Major League Baseball, getting a long-term deal. The Brewers also bringing back pitcher Wade Miley on a 1-year deal. Let's take a look around the area weather-wise this afternoon as you take a look at the Oshkosh Skycam there. Clouds there in Oshkosh. There is some sun and partly cloudy skies, up in Sturgeon Bay. But for more on what the weather will be bringing us, we bring in Keith Gibson. Hello, Keith.
Hey, Chris,
what can we expect this week?
Well, you know, pretty ho-hum right now. It's actually going to be a little bit above the average later this week. Thursday, Friday, we're thinking 40s coming on back to our area right now. 30s, we'll be in the 30s tomorrow, and for Wednesday, clouds increasing right now. I want to show you First Alert Viper Max. We've got some snow and some precipitation across Minnesota and the Dakotas. That is coming our way. And that's our next weather maker here coming into the area late this evening and during the overnight hours. There may be a coating of snow here. This is not going to be like what we had here this weekend, but there will be a chance for a coating of snow later on tonight, tomorrow morning. I want to show you quickly here, really west and southwest of Green Bay, the best chance for that coating, but it could expand a little bit farther east, but dusting to a ½ inch, probably worst case scenario here. So that's tonight, tomorrow morning. The rest of the week pretty tame. But real quick, Chris, I want to tell everybody about a weekend storm system. There's some buzz that there's going to be a big system somewhere in the eastern U.S. this weekend, Saturday or Sunday. It's going to come out of the Mississippi River Valley down across the south and lift to the northeast. If it takes a western track, we may see a little bit of snow. If it goes east, we will see nothing here. My default position on this, Chris, is that it will stay just to our southeast, but there's some wiggle room here. Our forecast model's not certain yet, and there's still a potential here for something this weekend. So we'll be talking about that at 4 o'clock and have a new First Alert weather calendar for you at 4 o'clock too.
All right, I look forward to that. Keith, thank you so much. We will see you at 4 o'clock, and we'll see you all back here on Action 2 News at 4. Thanks for watching our First Alert Fastcast. We now return you to local news live.